So Techland's Dying Light is finally available after about a year and a half of waiting. We've been waiting for this since the launch of the current generation consoles. It's finally out, and the makers of Dead Island have some good things going for their new project and some bad things. So what are my first thoughts after about 2, 3, maybe 4 hours max of gameplay? Let's get into it. Now, before I really dive deep into what I think about Dying Light, I have to put a little disclaimer here because honestly, this does affect my opinion on the game at this moment in time. Now, I'm not a really big fan of Techland, and I actually didn't pay for this game. I got it from a friend, and that's how I'm playing it because I told myself that I would never buy this game. I was looking forward to this game around the initial reveal and everything, but since then I've learned a bit more about Techland as a developer, and I've looked into some of their past projects and the way that they've handled certain communities and certain decisions in games has really steered me away completely from them as a developer, and as such I don't really want to support them at all until they show some more, I can't say maturity, but really just erase the sort of negative connotation that I have with them as of this moment. If you want to know more about that, feel free to ask me in the comments section, feel free to ask me on Twitter or anything. I will be happy to share that, but that's not the main topic of this video, so I just want to put that out there because that does influence how I feel about this game as a whole. Now, Dying Light is, much like the Dead Island series, a first-person survival zombie-oriented game. It's set in a really interesting city. You're set in the slums. I haven't been out of the slums so far. Hopefully you get to go to the city. But the world building so far, it's not bad actually. It sets the stage pretty well for what it's doing. And I feel that the city of Harran, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, hopefully I am, the city of Harran is set up pretty well. I would like to know why there's these slums and why there's this huge vibrant city. It kind of reminds me of Brazil. Didn't mean to say that with the accent. It kind of reminds me of Brazil and Rio because of just the huge difference in wealth and distribution there. But so far the game looks pretty good, and I have to say pretty good, and take that with a grain of salt because first glance, yes, this game looks great, right? The game looks great at first glance, but I've noticed a few texture pop-ins. I am playing it on PlayStation 4, I should say. I've noticed a few texture pop-ins, and from a distance the textures seem really nice, but I keep seeing when I'm like right there, because there is a huge emphasis on movement in this game. More about that later. But when I get closer and closer in on the textures, they seem to drop in quality. And the weird thing with me is there doesn't seem to be a quality standard in the textures, and that's what really bothers me. I can deal with, getting really up close to textures and they look like trash. Okay, I can deal with that. I deal with that all the time. But there's something weird here. Like, the textures on some of the side characters are really bad, and then your main character is really good. Yes, I understand. The side characters, you're not going to see them that much, you're not going to interact with them, but just the gap in quality kind of it disturbs me, honestly, and it's kind of something that, although it's not deterring me from playing the game, it's definitely there in my mind, and it's something I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of this game. Hopefully I finish it. Now onto the story. The story so far seems pretty generic. There are some really nice bits and pieces of flavor thrown in there, but basically you're sort of a government US guy, operative, or whatever you want to call him, who's going into Harran to kind of figure out what's going on. There's this rogue operative who's gone undercover here. Don't really know his name. I actually just met this guy. But you're going undercover and trying to get this mission done, and it just seems really generic right now, because I feel like I know exactly how this story is going to go, because there was a huge thing where I wish Techland would actually put a choice in early in the game, and you don't really have a choice in it. So that right there, it kind of I was thinking like, okay, then if that happened, then this is gonna happen, then this is gonna happen, then he's gonna do this, and this is gonna happen. So hopefully the game doesn't go exactly the way I think it's going to go, but you know, we'll see. We will see. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt right now, and I'm enjoying it so far. And a huge part of my enjoyment so far is the movement. Anyone who is new to this channel, you should know that I am a huge fan of Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge was my favorite game of last generation, period. No questions asked, point blank. And to play a game that sort of takes some inspiration from Mirror's Edge is really nice to me. And I was really happy, sorry about that, I hit some paper. I was really happy to find out that they literally lifted the control scheme from free running from Mirror's Edge straight through it into Dying Light. And I was really comfortable when I first started, and that's really fun. Really fun so far. However, because I am so used to the other game, it's a bit jarring right now playing Dying Light and doing some of the movements, because I have to remind myself I'm not the same character, I don't have the same abilities right now, and the ability and skills tree is something that's really going to help with the movement in the future. Combat standard fare reminds me just of Dead Island. Nothing more to say about that. You have a lot of loot drops. I haven't seen one gun available to use. Some of the side characters have guns, but they are saying that guns are very scarce in this game, if you can use them at all. I don't even remember, but they seem to be very scarce. I'm not going to run into them probably anytime soon, let alone get to use one. And I really wouldn't want to use one because of the zombies. Now, the zombies. People have been talking about the zombie, like as many zombies as you can fit on the screen and everything, because of course Dead Rising 3 sort of set a precedent for that with its massive number of zombies on the screen, both on Xbox One and even more so on PC. And I think Dying Light sort of drops the ball there. However, the environment is really detailed, and I think that that's sort of taking away from the amount of zombies that are on screen. I'm not really disappointed with it, but I think there could have been more, and I think more probably would have been satisfying. However, if you remember, the tagline from this game is "Good night, good luck." And that is something that Techland has nailed to a T in this game. I've gone through 2 nights so far, and I dread nights. I don't want to go out in the night at all in this game because it's dark. You have a flashlight that gives you a little bit of view. Hopefully I can put some gameplay. I don't know if I captured any of that gameplay, but you have a little field of view, and it's like, it's just scary. It's scary. You have a headset on, it's just like, what in the world is going on? You're looking left, right. It's nighttime is no joke. And I can't wait to level up some more so I can actually go out at night and hopefully do something. Hopefully I will be able to do something. The skills in this game are divided into 3 categories. You have your movement, you have your combat, and you have your crafting. Because of course you're going to be picking up loot from any zombies that you take out, random chests around the city, and people. I've had 2 encounters with people. One I ran away from, and the other one I was victorious. But fighting people is hard in this game. Zombies, kill them, no problem. I mean, pretty much no problem unless they swarm on you. But people, on the other hand, that's a pretty tense situation that you get put into, and I like that. I like the difference between fighting the zombies and fighting the people, and I kind of don't like fighting people in this game. As of right now, I'm still leveling up. Now, something that I have to really stress on are the loading screens in this game. Now, we're getting to sort of a point where we'll have one main loading screen in an open world game, and then maybe a little bit going into a mission or something, but I think the resource allocation in this game as far as loading screen goes is pretty bad. Like, okay, so there's this center hub called the tower. It's the headquarters, right? For the character and some of your affiliates. And it was really interesting with the fact that there's an elevator in the tower. You're like on 13th through 21st floor is where really all the base of operations, and there's the ground level, and then there's a training course on the roof, and you know, some other stuff. But every time you step foot in that elevator, you go to a loading screen. You go to a loading screen, maybe about a minute long, 45 seconds, minute and a half max, and then you're out, right? And there's some other times where you go into a door, you hit a loading screen, and you're back in a tower-esque spot. And I feel it just drops the ball there. Now, when you're opening the door to go in, I understand that when you have to load all that stuff, but the elevator, come on. How many times in video games recently have we seen you just step in an elevator and you literally ride it and the game loads while you're in that elevator? It's not that okay. I don't know anything about programming or anything, but I feel I feel that Techland could have put that in there. It's been in Portal 2, it's been in Mirror's Edge, it's been in other games since. Like, I feel that sort of a passive loading experience will really benefit this game and help, because the loading screens just taking me away from the entire experience. They're pretty jarring, and I don't really want to deal with that. I don't want that sort of experience out of this game, right? Now, there are these loot drops, or there are these crates, there's these airdrops that come in periodically throughout the game. I don't know how frequent they are. I've literally ran into 2, and the first time it was, of course, because it was a story beat. So the second one, it seems they pop up pretty randomly, and you're gonna have to fight for them with another faction that's opposing the faction that you're with, I guess I could say. There's some weird things going on in the story right now that I really don't want to give away, but it kind of looks like you might be playing both sides. But anyway, the airdrops. It seems that you're really going to have to make a decision time and time again whether you are actually in position to go after an airdrop or not, and I really do like that, because you don't know how long it's going to take for other people to get there, and you're really going to need to get to those airdrops to secure supplies, because supplies make everything in this game easier, as it should be, right? Now, there also is an interesting lockpick mechanic in the game. It's actually pretty easy. I've done medium lockpicks pretty much every single time now. I broke a couple of lockpicks, but supplies seem pretty generous right now. I think I'm playing on the normal difficulty. Supplies seem pretty generous, but it's like The Last of Us, I think, with the supply drops, where you'll run into stuff that you get, but you running into stuff constantly doesn't really net the tools that you need in order to survive. So if you understand what I'm saying, if you played The Last of Us or The Last of Us Remastered, you kind of get what I'm going for there, where you'll constantly get stuff, right? If you're looking around, you'll run into stuff time and time again. However, it's using those where it seems to be the problem. Like, I've stockpiled a lot of stuff, but I've really only been able to make 1 med kit and like 6 shuriken, something like that. And that's over a couple of hours of gameplay. So it seems pretty balanced in that respect. Now, this game as a whole, I'm looking forward to seeing how the story plays out. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. I hope Techland did a really good job with this game. And so far, it's a good experience. You've heard what I don't like, you've heard what I like. And I think that especially with the movement in this game, they have something special going for it. If I can just get a little bit further in that skill tree, I think the movement's going to open up a lot more, and I think it will be very, very good and very fun to actually go around, because it seems like they have it there. They have that movement base there, but it lacks the sort of refinement that I'm used to from DICE and Mirror's Edge. And I think that if you just go a little bit further, I think I'm going to get a more refined experience from this game. Now, overall, Dying Light, not a bad game so far. Not a bad game so far. Very solid, but I feel it's not doing anything special as of yet to really hook me or get me more invested in this story. I've just been collecting medicine, just trying to help out the factions, and we'll see what happens. Good night, good luck. I should say I haven't touched the multiplayer at all, and when I do, I'll report back and tell you what I think. I'll give a little update, or maybe you'll just have to wait for a full-fledged review if I do finish this game. I'll do another one of these videos, probably expect one tomorrow, because Grim Fandango Remastered comes out tonight, so I can't wait to play that. Might do a Let's Play. It's still deciding on that or not, and look out for a couple more mixtapes. So if you guys have been playing Dying Light, leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can while I'm playing this. I still have it up on my PS4, so as soon as this is done, I'm going to get back to playing, of course. I want to know your guys' thoughts. You've heard mine. I'm Paradox, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.